Why is it that we sometimes get trapped in vicious cycles of bad behavior? And we just stuff up in habitual patterns that destroy ourselves and destroy other people. I'm going to give you one reason. Paul talks about it in Romans chapter 6, 12 to 14. And he says, sin will not have dominion over you because you're not under law, but under grace. Law and grace. What's Paul talking about? Sin will dominate your life if you live under law and not under grace. The more we live under law, the more sin will dominate. The more we live under grace, the less sin will dominate. Let me give you a practical illustration from my own life. As a young boy, I learned to play the piano accordion. And I had two teachers. The first one was brutal. He was a perfectionist and he expected very, very high standards from me. And the more he criticized my performance and the harder I obeyed his laws to play better, the more mistakes I was making. Let me tell you why. When he put these legal pressure on me to perform better, it produced performance anxiety. Now, we all know what this means. Go to work and have a boss who's really rigid and who demands better and better performance to get approval and acceptance. What happens when you're under pressure, folks? You stuff up. You make far more mistakes. So when you're living under law, you are under the dominion of sin. For sin will not have dominion over you, for you are not under law, but under grace. The more we live under pressure, the more mistakes we're going to make and our performance goes down. And as our performance goes down, we conclude because I did bad, therefore I am bad or worthless and valueless. And bad, worthless, valueless people do what? More bad things. And then that affects the law affects our identity. Because I didn't perform well and I did bad, therefore I am bad, and bad people do more bad things. And so the cycle continues on and on and on and on. Paul says, sin will not have dominion over you. Why won't sin control my life? Because I'm not under law. I'm not under this performance anxiety pressure where I'm going to have the pressure on me. I'm going to stuff up. And then I think I'm a stuff up, and then I stuff up even more. Tell a girl she's a dirty girl. She'll convince that she is a dirty girl. And therefore, because I am bad, therefore I do more bad things. And the cycle keeps going on and on and on and on. What is the solution? Sin shall not have dominion over you, for you're not under law. That's not your master, but you're under grace. So how does grace break the control of sinful habits in our life? Well, after years of having that brutal law teacher walloping me, and I've just got worse and worse and worse, I changed teachers. And this most gracious, tender-hearted, patient, graceful teacher entered my life. His name is Tony. Changed teachers, my behavior was still bad because I was under a toxic cycle of performance anxiety that I was only accepted if I performed. And if I didn't perform, I was bad. And then bad people just keep doing more bad things. But then grace entered my life, a graceful teacher named Tony. Tony saw I was struggling, that I was living under fear because I was under the regime of law. Perform to get acceptance. Well, he patiently waited with me, and when I make mistakes, I start to shake. He just laughed, put his arm around me. So it's okay. It's okay. And he just accepted me regardless of my mistakes. That's grace. Unconditional acceptance in spite and in the presence of bad performance. That's grace. Grace broke through. Why? Why did my behavior change? The more he was patient with me and accepted me regardless and in spite of and in the face of my mistakes, I wasn't scared anymore. That's what the Lord does, makes you scared. And that's when you make mistakes because pressure hits you. Well, I got none of that from Tony at all. He just kept loving me and accepting me in spite of my mistakes. The fear left. Grace breaks the stronghold of fear. This man accepts me in spite of my mistakes. My fear left. My fear left. The pressure was off. And once the pressure came off, I made less and less mistakes. In 6 months, I covered 6 years of work under my grace teacher named Tony. And my performance went from really bad to really good in 6 months. Sin will not dominate you. Why? Because you're not under the regime of law. Perform or you're bad. But under grace, I love you regardless of how you perform. Let's be nice to one another. Let's be gracious to one another. If we want people to change, be good to them. God bless you.